All right, let's talk about cat grooming. We all know our cats are pretty much self-cleaning experts, right? But what we're going to get into today is how our help with their grooming is about so much more than just looking good. It's actually a huge part of their health, their happiness, and believe it or not, a fantastic way for you two to bond. So let me just ask you this. When it comes to grooming, do you kind of figure your cat's got it covered? I mean, they're really good at it. But leaving them to handle it all on their own can actually lead to some pretty serious issues down the road. You know, helping them out is one of the most important things you can do. A little bit of regular brushing prevents those painful mats that pull on their skin, and it seriously cuts down on hairballs. It also helps spread their natural oils, which is what gives them that beautiful shiny coat. And here's the real kicker. It's your chance to play detective. You can spot lumps, fleas, or weird rashes way before they become big problems. And honestly, it's just great quality time that makes your bond even stronger. So here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll cover why grooming is such a big deal. Then we'll get into all the practical stuff. The essential toolkit you'll need, the right way to brush different types of coats, how to trim nails safely, what to do about matted fur, and maybe most importantly, how to make it a positive routine for both of you. Okay, so let's dig into why this is so important. I promise you, it goes way beyond just a quick brush through. This is really fundamental to your cat's overall well-being. Let's talk about the dreaded hairball. Ugh, we've all heard that sound, and it's not great. A hairball is exactly what it sounds like, a wad of fur your cat swallowed while grooming. And this is the perfect example of why your help is a game changer. Every single piece of loose fur you brush out is fur that doesn't end up in their stomach. Brushing is, by far, the best prevention out there. All right, you can't do the job right without the right equipment. Seriously, using the wrong tool can be totally useless or even painful for your cat. So let's check out what you really need in your grooming arsenal. Okay, what's cool about this is how specific each tool is. That metal comb, it's your secret weapon, especially for longer coats. It finds sneaky tangles before they turn into full-blown mats. The slicker brush is the heavy hitter for long-haired cats, getting deep into that undercoat. Now for short-haired kitties, a rubber glove is amazing. It feels like a massage to them, but it pulls off a ton of fur. And for nails, those guillotine-style clippers are definitely the way to go for a safe, clean cut. All right, let's get down to the actual brushing. This is not a one-size-fits-all situation. What works for a short hair is totally wrong for a long hair. So let's break down the routine for both. So if you've got a short-haired cat, great news. You're really only looking at a commitment of once or twice a week. I know, it might not seem like they need it, but this is so key for keeping shedding under control and spreading those healthy skin oils around. Now, for our long-haired, fluffy friends, the commitment is a bit higher. We're talking pretty much daily or at the very least 4 to 5 times a week. And this isn't just about looking pretty. With long fur, missing just a day or two can be the difference between a few little tangles and a really painful mat. Consistency is absolutely everything. And how you brush is different too. For short-haired cats, it's super simple. Just brush in the same direction their fur grows. Easy. But for long-haired cats, it's a 2-step process. First, you gently brush against the grain that lifts up all that loose undercoat. Then you brush with the grain to smooth everything back down. Okay, let's talk about the task that might be the most intimidating for a lot of us, nail trimming. But it's so important, not just for your furniture and your skin, but for your cat's comfort. Nails that are too long can get snagged on things and can even make it uncomfortable for them to walk. So this right here is the most crucial part of nail trimming. See that little pink area inside the nail? That's called the quick. It has nerves and blood vessels, and if you cut it, it really hurts them and it will bleed. Your goal is to just snip the sharp white tip, staying far away from that pink zone. So here's the game plan. Wait till your cat is kind of sleepy and relaxed. Gently press on their little paw pad. The claw will pop right out. Using sharp clippers made for cats, just snip that tiny white tip. It is always better to take off too little than too much. Also, have some styptic powder nearby, just in case you do have an accident. And finally, and this is non-negotiable, end with a fantastic treat to make it a positive experience. Now, it's really important we touch on this. Decline is not just an extreme nail trim. As the source material makes crystal clear, it's an amputation of the last bone in each toe. It's an inhumane, incredibly painful procedure. Regular, proper nail trimming is the humane, responsible alternative. Okay, so what happens if you do find a mat? This is when you have to be extremely careful. Think of this as an intervention, and safety is priority number 1. I am going to say this as clearly as I possibly can. Never, ever, ever use scissors to try and cut out a mat. A cat's skin is super thin and stretchy. It is so easy to accidentally pull their skin up into the mat, and the risk of seriously cutting them is incredibly high. Please, just don't do it. So, what's the right move? Well, this slide gives you a clear guide. If it's just a small, loose tangle, you can try working it out with your fingers. A little cornstarch can sometimes help give you some grip. But if a mat is tight against the skin, if the area looks red or smells bad, or if your cat is clearly in pain when you touch it, that is a job for a professional groomer or your vet. Don't risk it. Okay, so we've covered the what and the how, but none of this is going to work if your cat thinks grooming is a wrestling match. The real foundation for all of this is creating a calm, positive routine. And the most important tool in your entire kit isn't a brush or a pair of clippers, it's trust. Especially if you have a new cat, you have to build that relationship before you start trying to do things like trim their nails. Grooming has to be built on a solid foundation of trust.
So how do you get there? Well, here are the keys. Start them young if you can. Always choose a time when your cat is already chilled out or sleepy. Keep the first few sessions super short, like just a few minutes. Use a soft voice, be gentle, and this is critical, stop before they start getting annoyed. You always want to end on a good note, followed by lots of praise and their favorite treat. And when you get it right, this is what it can look like. It's not a chore, it's not a fight. It just becomes this quiet little ritual that you do together, one that reinforces your bond and builds that trust. It's really special. So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? I think this quote just nails it. Grooming is not about having a cat that looks perfect for a photo shoot. It's about their comfort, it's about their health, and it's about the trust between you. A little bit of regular, gentle care goes such a long way.